Hey everybody, it's Jen from Geigley Knits, and today I thought I would do a little video about what I have on the needles and my big pile of things I want to work on, knitting and sewing and otherwise. There's a whole bunch of weird random things that you'll see in a bit. But I feel like I've been a little bit all over the place because of the knitting machine thing that happened last weekend, which was like kind of a curveball in my knitting creative, like what I normally do, but a really fun one. And I'm gonna definitely share more videos about the knitting machine process as I go through and learn things now at home. In hindsight, setting that machine up and going straight to a crank in was maybe the smartest thing I could have ended up accidentally doing. It's harder to learn on your own. It's possible. People do it all the time because there's tons of videos online, especially for the Dean & Bean machine owners. Dean & Bean has amazing step-by-step how-to videos for everything, different sock patterns and all kinds of stuff. But the advantage of going to this crank-in was being surrounded by all these knitting machine experts who've been doing this for years. One lady had been doing it since 1988, and she and her husband knew like everything, and they refurbish machines and all kinds of stuff. So I will definitely share more about my knitting machine journey if you're interested. And if you're not, you can just skip those videos. I'm still gonna probably hand knit socks forever because I like knitting socks, and even if I can just crank tubes and add afterthought heels and toes, I'm cool with that even. But the fact that you can make a heel, toe, and cuff right on that machine and be done, like, is it the Grocery Girls or some other sisters? It might be the Grocery Girls. Somebody gets together every weekend and knits, hand cranks machine socks, like they each do a pair on a weekend. Is it Grocery Girls? Tell me if I'm right about this. Or somebody that I've seen online. And I think that's the coolest idea. Like, you don't have to have a marathon and make a million socks, but what if you did like a pair a weekend on the machine, or even tubes, and did some afterthought stuff? I have a lot of sock yarn in my stash, and I just think that would help me get through it a little bit faster and be able to give socks to people in my family and people that I care about and friends. And I don't know. Do I have time for any of this? Probably not, but I really am into this and it's really fun. So anyway, that's my sock knitting aside, and I'll have another video coming really soon about my next part in learning all about that stuff. Okay, so today I actually made myself some show notes so I don't forget, because usually when I make these videos, I randomly pull things out of my bag or whatever, and then I forget what everything is called, and this time I'm more prepared, so good for me. Really, the only whip I have going that is really important right now is this is going to be a cardigan out of vegan yarn. Go to veganyarns.com. It is a woman in Canada, and she has all vegan yarns, but many different kinds. Some natural dyed, some not. But a friend who's local, she has a shop with sustainable goods and reusable, like earth-friendly goods and vegan goods. And she's thought about possibly getting some vegan yarn in her shop. And then we found this company, and she's been knitting with the vegan yarn for a long time. And so we decided to do some designs in the vegan yarn. So I am working on this cardigan, and our friend is gonna take over knitting part of it after I get it to a certain point. We had a little pattern mix-up, which sometimes happens, and I'm going to get it back to where we were so she can take over and maybe do the sleeves and a little bit of the body. So I need to get this cranked out. But I've also had a ton of freelance work lately. It's been keeping me really busy. So I've felt like very scattered and all over the place. So I'm trying to like bring my stuff in together and like focus on one thing, finishing this, getting that to where it needs to be. And then I have a whole pile of things that I want to do, and then some things that I need to do. And some of it I can't show you, but I'll show you what I can. So let's just see. Okay, first thing before I get into the rest of this is I subscribed to a monthly surprise sock kit, And you can use, it's sock weight, but you could use it for other things too. But it's from my friend Sam at Lavender Lune, and I just love her dyes. I love her colors, and she makes really cool color combinations. And so I thought I would join her Moon Fade subscription kit thing. And I think it started in January. It's like a pre-order, so if you ordered in December, I think you get it the January and whatever. And I joined probably in January, and now I got the February, which I've been hanging on to a little while, so I've had it, but I haven't looked at it. So I wanna see what's in here. I love her color combinations, and I love, oh, this is a good one. And the Moon Fade, there's like a little graphic of like the colors she's inspired by, and so, sorry for the crinkles. So pretty, hold on. It says it's many moons. It is month 2 of the Moon Fade subscription. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous. Which has me excited to maybe try this on the sock knitting machine. But even not, because I don't want to like mess up good yarn on the sock machine, but because I'm kind of practicing on my scrappy yarn. But what if even I cranked a tube of the main color, split it into 2, did afterthought heel toe cuff with this by hand knitting. That's an idea that I know I can confidently crank a tube with that knitting machine. I've done that successfully, but that might be fun because I'm not sure how to change colors yet on the sock knitting machine with the heel and all that, and that's like a whole other thing I've learned. But, and even for hand knitting, or, okay, here's the other thing is, Sam from Lavender Lune does little sock sets like this on her website too, not part of the subscription, but just on their own. And I have one of those from before, which is this awesome combination. I love this gold, green, brown that she has. This is like my favorite, and she knows, like, I love this. There's one called like Old Fashioned, and there's another one called Tobacco something. But look how pretty that is together. Then, look at this. I mean, this could totally be a cowl or a shawl or something too, if I don't want to do socks, but I do want to do socks. But maybe I collect these, and maybe I just collect the future subscription ones and just see before I dive into something, because I might want to just make something really colorful and cool with these. But look how pretty. So anyway, if you haven't checked out Lavender Lune, she's a friend of mine. She's amazing. She's in Minnesota, and her dyes and her colors are so good. Just go take a look at her stuff because it's really good. Or join the subscription club like me because it's really fun. I'm sure the next one will ship out like the following month. So, okay, that's my fun little Lavender Lune subscription Moon Fade club. That's fun. Carrying on. I saw my friend Gotham Knits at Vogue Knitting Live, and she was wearing this shawl that was chartreuse. And then I saw it in like pictures on her Instagram, and I was just obsessed with this shawl. And I am not really a shawl knitter most of the time, but this shawl speaks to me. And it's called the Mavka shawl. It's M-A-V-K. So I got the pattern, and then I got the exact yarn she used. I hope she doesn't mind. I'm totally copying her because it's this perfect chartreuse, and it's Purl Soho linen quill. And it has a beautiful drape. It's not 100% linen, it's a mix. So it's 50% fine Highland wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. And the blend of those things together is so beautiful and soft. It feels so nice, and it's light. So I'm excited to make the Mavka shawl. I was gonna say cowl. I don't even know what words I'm saying. By Gotham Knits, and it's on Ravelry, and it's so cute. And this color, I just had to have this exact color. So sorry for copying you, but you already know that we both love this color because we talked about it. Anyway, so I'm excited to cast this on, and I'm excited about this yarn because it's really, really pretty. So that's from Purl Soho. So that just came in the mail this week. You're gonna notice a color theme with the rest of my things here because it just happens that way. It's just the way it is. The other thing I was so excited to get is something I saw at Vogue Knitting Live as well when I was at Brooklyn General Store. It is the Noctuidae, I'm gonna say it wrong, Noctuidae cowl by Catherine Clark of Brooklyn General Store. And I'm gonna use these colors. So this is, they sell kits, but I think they were sold out of their kits when I looked at their kits. So I made my own kit using mostly what they suggest, the one thing they were out of. Sorry, I'm rewinding this to make it look pretty again. They use Sky Dancer, Ursa Minor yarn, and this is called Steamy Kitchen Window. It's like a really nice light gray undyed natural color for that. That's the main color of this cowl. Then they used something else for the contrast dark, but I found something really similar, which is Le Petit Lamb's Wool, in this kind of brown gray, which is really close to what they used. And then I got Spin Cycle in Salty Dog, which is a nice yellowy gold with some green mixed in there. And I think this will look really good. Similar to the sample that they show online, but a little different. I think their Spin Cycle is different, but I really like yellow and gold, and I think this is gonna be really pretty, so I'm excited to cast that on. The store sample had a knitted lining. I don't think it's double knit, but it's added maybe after the fact to the inside, and it's optional, but it's like this main color, but a different yarn, and so I may add that later, but I'll just see how it goes, and I might not have to, but I bet it would make it extra cozy. So that's the Noctuidae cowl. I don't know why I have so much trouble with that word. It's like I read it and that's not how it goes in my head. Another thing I'm gonna be working on is a design I have coming out in the spring for Madelinetosh. And I can't tell you what it is yet, but I loved making the sample so much that I decided to make one for myself. And I saw online this color called Birkenstock, and look how pretty. It's like browns, grays, like all beautiful neutrals. I don't know, I just love this, and I think it'll be so cute to wear with different things. So I'm gonna work on making myself one of those for spring. And the yarn is wool plus cotton, and I have become a big fan of this exact yarn. 219 yards, 100 grams, 20 stitches is 4 inches on a 6 or a 7, a US 6 or 7 needle. The feel of this is so nice, and I would wear it in the fall and winter too, but for spring it's so good. And it doesn't feel like totally cotton because there is a wool cotton blend. It just feels so nice when you wear it, and it lays really nicely. So I just kind of want to make everything in this now. I just love this yarn. And Birkenstock, I don't know why, that name just appeals to me, and these gray browns, love it. The rest of the things in my pile are sewing related, and for some reason, like on the verge of springtime, I always get into this sewing mode where, I don't know, I go in phases with sewing where I do it a whole bunch and then I don't do it for a long time. Maybe we're all like that, but I got this awesome fabric, it's linen, from Merchant and Mills. And I kind of splurged on this because it's kind of expensive and the shipping is kind of expensive, but I could not resist when I saw this lemon check with the natural, and it's like a citron highlighter yellow almost. It's so good. It feels so good. And I kind of got a lot of it in case I want to make a long dress. I don't have a specific pattern picked out, but I was kind of thinking I might do another Wixton dress, which I have made one of those before. I did a natural and navy stripe, like a thin stripe of the Wixton dress, and I did the long version with the belt. And I was thinking I could totally make that again, but sewing friends, If you have a favorite dress pattern, put it in the comments below because I'm open to trying something new. I have made the Wixton dress, and I've made the dresses from Sonia Phillips' book, The Act of Sewing, and I've kind of made those over and over again. So if you have a new dress pattern that is not one of those that you love, please put it down below. I'm still a beginner sewist, so anything simple and easy would be great. I haven't really done zippers, I haven't really done buttons, but I'm not afraid to try that if I need to. But otherwise, if I can't figure out what else to do, I'll just probably do another Wixton dress because I really like that one and I kind of like the length of it. I'm in love with this fabric and I can't wait to mess with it. It's really fun. It feels so nice. That's springy. Another sewing project, this is gonna be easy though, is, okay, I'll show you. This is a dress from Target that I love the color of, and I love the shape of this skirt, but I don't love this top. Just on me, I don't really wear open tops like this. This is very open for me, like a lot of this showing. But I love the color so much, and like I said, I love the skirt so much. So my plan is I'm just gonna cut the top off, and there's a nice wide waistband. I am literally going to fold that in half and sew it, you know, I'll hem it in the inside and just make it into a skirt. Because I think I'll wear the skirt, but I won't wear the dress. So I bought this from Target knowing I was gonna probably chop it. It's just too, not me. It's so cute. And the color, I never see like skirts this color. So that's gonna be my little DIY mod to this dress. I'm just gonna tuck it in and see. Oh, and it has pockets. Even better. So yeah, I can just fold this in. That's gonna be an easy sew. And we'll have a nice elastic waistband. And pockets are already there. But yeah, this color is rad. And I already have a sweater in mind, a hand knit sweater to maybe wear with it. And I wanna make like hand knit tanks or t-shirts, you know, like that would be a total fun outfit. Anyway, so that's a little DIY in my project pile. And then the other thing, here it is with all the yellows and golds. Okay, this dress is from Tradlands, which is a really great brand. And I bought this last year, and in the picture online, it looked like a different color. It looks more like this. It's not a huge difference, but to me it is. So I wanted it to be a little bit more yellow or a little bit more chartreuse maybe. In the picture it was just so different, and it came, I feel like it's so blah. Like it's just not that great for me. But the fit is really cute and it's really good. It's kind of a shorter dress than that longer Target one. And it's just a nice short sleeve, easy. It's linen, so it's a little wrinkled. Is it linen? Anyway, I feel like I love it and I can't return it. It's like I've already had it for a long time. So I think I'm going to dye it with, tell me if this is crazy, but I've done crazier things. I think I'm gonna dye it with neon yellow Rit. And this is the one that works on wool, cotton, nylon, natural fibers. So it'll work on linen. And I think it will brighten this up to a chartreuse. This is always a guessing game, and I've done this before, because it's really hard to tell what neon yellow is gonna be like on top of this, but I think it's gonna give me that edge that I want, the little more yellow brightness, like a little more sour. So I'm going to dye this dress and I'll let you know how it goes. I could also just use regular yellow, but then I think it's just gonna be kind of not what I'm looking for. So I got this. And then I always, anytime I do RIT, I always use the Color Stay dye fixative. Very important. I've dyed a lot of things in my closets over the years, and this, if you want it to stay and not bleed all over everything, is super important. So anyway, is that all? Let me look at my list. Okay, one more thing. Oh, two more things. Andrea Mowry, I don't have a picture or anything to show for this, but Andrea Mowry is having a March to May knit along, and I have yarn for an Alpenglow that I bought last fall at Rhinebeck. I have not cast on, so if I have time with my other cast-ons, I have cast-on-itis like so bad. I just want to do everything, and that's really bad because I already have a lot going on behind the scenes. But Andrea Mowry is having a March to May knit along, and I do already have that yarn, and I want to cast on so bad because my friend Erica, who went to Rhinebeck with me, I think she's already finished her Alpenglow. We were gonna cast on together, and then I just like fell off the train. But I really want to get going on that, so maybe I'll cast on at least. I'm not saying I'm gonna finish from March to May, but you never know. I have a lot to do though. And then the other thing I wanted to do, sewing related again, is something called the Vignettes. Is that how you say that? Vignettes? Vignettes quilt. Wow, I'm just really bad with words today. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's a quilt by Heidi Parks, and she's doing a quilt along right now. And I think she's done this in the past because it's an older quilt pattern of hers that I believe she's done like Zoom quilt alongs and stuff, and there's like a whole class you can take. But it is a really cool, different style of quilt. It's kind of freestyle, it's hand pieced, it's embroidered, and every single one looks completely different. There's kind of a formula, and there's different prompts, and it's inspired by the 7 elements of art. So each block has a different thing that you're doing, but everybody does it differently, and that's what makes them so cool. I'll put up a picture here so you can see what it looks like. And that's just one example, but if you look at the hashtag on Instagram, there's so many different really cool quilts, and you use some found fabrics and some vintage stuff and some weird, like I have a lot of weird fabric things that I've collected. They're not all just sewing fabrics, it's just all kinds of stuff, and even like something that my grandma embroidered. And I have like this eyeball fabric from a piece of a dress that I cut off a while back, and I just collect these weird things that I don't know what I have no plan for, but this seems like the perfect thing, and it's almost like an art project. So I might join that. I'm not going to finish any of these things on time, but it's very cool. So it's the Vignettes quilt by Heidi Parks, and there's a quilted along, and of course I want to join. There's also the 100-day project is going on. Have you heard of the 100-day project? There's a whole account on Instagram for this, and it's actually how I wrote my first self-published book in 2015. You just pick something. It can be a knitting project, it can be a quilt, it can be a sewing project, it can be an art project where you draw every day, but you do one thing for 100 days, and you kind of have an end goal in sight. And maybe it's just 100 drawings, or maybe it's paintings, who knows? It's just a bunch, it can be anything you want, anything at all. But that is how I wrote my first self-published knitting book back in the day. I kind of split up the tasks of writing a book and the work, not perfectly, but kind of spread it out over a 100-day period. And then my goal was to have the whole thing finished by fall of that year. And it was a really good motivator. And then you follow the hashtag and you see what everybody else is doing in this 100 days. It's a beautiful thing. So sometimes if you need like a little bit of a guideline or a timeline to follow, and if you're motivated by doing that with other people in your creative endeavors, and it really can be anything you want, go check out the 100-day project, because it's really, really kind of brilliant, and you see all this beautiful work being made by all these different people, and you never know. So maybe one of these projects, maybe the quilt project could be my 100-day project. or maybe I've been thinking about doing another book. I could do that again, or you never know. Or it could be my knitting machine, like 100 days of the knitting machine. How far can I get? Like, can I get really good at making socks in the knitting machine in 100 days? That's probably a good goal. Anyway, that is pretty much all I have for today. Checking just to make sure. Yeah, speaking of the knitting machine, I am gonna post more about the knitting machine stuff soon. And it's one of those things, I don't wanna let it sit. I don't wanna put it away because I just finished this weekend learning so much about it. And it's definitely something you have to keep at it so you don't forget everything you learned. So I definitely don't wanna abandon that and just hand knit now. I have to kind of incorporate it into my life a little bit. So I'll definitely be making more videos about that journey. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope this was a little bit interesting, maybe. Happy knitting, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.